today's conversation? Okay, great. We are live everywhere. We are talking today about the power of decision. And it is such a powerful quality to embody in yourself. I just want to welcome Mary, Ksenia. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Laura. By the way, Ksenia, I hope you don't mind, but if you are looking for amazing energy readings, go follow Ksenia Lila on YouTube and on Instagram because I've been soaking those up since last night and they're incredible. So, good morning, Laura. I am so excited to have you here. And let me, oh goodness, hold on. I wrote notes for you and then they're gone. Okay, here we go. So, one of the things, so we're going to talk about how to get great at making really great decisions for you today. And especially when you're selling something, which you are, whether you're a salesperson, whether you're a business owner, we're all selling something. And of course, you want your clients to make great decisions in terms of working with you. But one of the things that I want to invite you to do is to always look at yourself first and say, am I embodying the qualities that I'm asking for my clients to also embody? And that was one decision I made for myself years ago was that it was through the awareness of any like objection or anything that was coming a lot from clients, that they were a mirror of something that was in me. And I decided to get really great because at this time when I had this realization, I was getting people ghosting me. I was getting people, saying I need to think about it. And there. And I noticed in my own life where sometimes I was doing that. And so I decided at that point, I was going to get great at making decisions. And now the clients who I get to serve, and so many of you are on this call today, are amazing at making decisions, right? Like you're not wishy-washy, like you make great committed decisions in favor of your highest good. And those are my people. But I had to choose to embody that first to be able to attract that type of client. Let me say good morning. Oh, Michelle on Facebook, good morning. Lori on LinkedIn. I am so excited to see all of you today. Bambi in Bermuda. Good morning, Drea. Hey, sister. Oh my gosh. So as always, whatever questions you have on this, pop them in the comments. I want to know. I want to serve you and coach you. And if you are finding that like clients are not making decisions to work with you, or there are parts in your own life where you feel like it's challenging to make decisions, I want to know. Tell me. Because I would love to, as much as I can, coach you through it today on the live stream. Happy Vibes Health. Oh my gosh, remind me your actual name because I know we DM'd the other day and I want to remember. I'm so glad you're here. Good morning. So here's something, if you're taking notes this morning, I want you to write this down. Successful people are in the habit of making decisions quickly and changing them slowly. So they make decisions quickly and they change them slowly. They change their mind slowly. And I want to talk with you today about some of the ways that I've learned to make decisions that have really created quantum leaps in my life so that you can take those and apply them to your own life as well. So you can just, if you've been here for a while, we're not a fan of like little incremental progress here. We're a fan of boom, the quantum leap. Okay. And so when you learn to make decisions in this way, this will help empower you to have those quantum leap moments in your own life. Sherry, thank you. Okay. Sherry. Beautiful. I'm so glad you're here this morning. So the first thing, it's so true, Drea. It's so true. I wrote down just 3 keys that I think will really help. One is you have to understand that your current level of thinking has gotten you to where you are at this point in your life. And we haven't talked about subconscious mind as much lately, but I've really enjoyed those conversations with those of you who have been here on the lives for a while now. And just knowing that your subconscious conditioning, which most of it happened for you before the age of 7, and you picked things up from parents, caregivers, society, that some of those things have been very helpful to you in your life and some of them have not. Those will inform your paradigm, right? Your way of thinking about the world, which will then inform how you make decisions. So if you're totally happy with every result that you're having in your life right now, then just keep thinking the way you're thinking and making decisions as the current you would make them. However, knowing most of you personally, and knowing that as a human being, whether I know you or not, you probably want more in some area of your life, if not every area of your life. We have to learn that if you want a different result, you have to think about it through a different lens. That decision, that thing that you're making a decision on, you can't think about it like, what would the current version of me do? You have to look at it as, what would the version of me who has the result I want, what would he or she do? Is this making sense so far? And again, let me know what questions you have on this, because I'm here to help serve you and support you through that. But so, for example, most of the women I serve want to make more money. And so what I've learned to do in my own life, and what I train them to do as well, is to look at it through the lens of, for the woman who has the financial result that you want, whether that's 6 figures or 7 figures or 8 figures, how would she make a decision in this situation? How would she make a decision in this situation? Um, and it's usually going to be very different from what your old way of thinking would have done. Because again, if you make decisions based upon your current paradigm, you're just going to keep getting more of the same in your life. Is this making sense? Are you with me here? So give me a heart, or give me a question or a yes in the comments if this is making sense. So you have to start to evaluate through the lens of, let's say, like the 7 figure version of me. What does she do? Or the 6 figure version of me, what would she do in this situation? And this is one of the most helpful tools that I use, that I learned from, I think it was Chris Harder, who I originally heard this from, is that in terms of how much to invest in coaching and mentoring, even, you should plan to invest 5 to 10% of what you want to make this year into your coaching and mentoring, not what you currently are making, but what you want to make. And that's how I've evaluated ever since then the investment in my mentors and my coaches. And it's not even, I kind of had this aha this morning, because I'm re-upping with a coach that I've been working with, it's more than I used to make in a year to work with this person. And I found some old Elise thoughts going on, like, oh my gosh, that's so, like, you could buy a house, that's so much money. And then I was like, hold on. And it wasn't even part of me that I had a split second of like, I'm giving her this money. And then it was like, no, I'm worth investing this much in. Like, the next level version of me is worth investing this much in. Does that make sense? It's not even about like giving it to her, although yes, in a tactical sense, that's what's happening, but it's because it's an investment back into me and how much I think I'm worth at this point. So I would encourage you, even just that one little thing, think about it through that lens for that version. So if you want to make your first 6 figures, right? That's like $5,000 to $10,000 in your coaching. If you want to make 7 figures, that's $50,000 to $100,000 in your coaching. And then it kind of caps out at around 7 figures. You're probably not you could keep investing at that percentage, but the percentages would kind of go down at that point. So Michelle's saying, definitely, it makes sense. Let me see comments. Sherry is saying, totally. I'm working on shifting all those subconscious saboteurs from childhood. Yes, it's the fun work we get to do in this lifetime. But you know what? And I say that a little bit tongue in cheek, but it actually is fun because, and Sherry, I don't know if you're experiencing this, but when you realize that you're totally in control of your results and that you can radically shift your results and shift them quickly just by changing your way of thinking, it's incredibly empowering because you can literally create any result that you desire in your life, and you can do it quickly when you shift and you start making decisions as that next level version of you. Kalu is saying, yes, I love it. Lee Lambert, oh my goodness, I love it. Let's see. I'm back. I can't even quantify how much I'm worth. Could be some advice. Lee, I tell you what, and isn't that the way to think about it too? And that's one of my favorite parts of thinking about investing in yourself is you realize, and if for many of you work with coaches and mentors, many of you are, my clients, or you work with somebody else, I don't care who you work with, but whatever the investment is, you'll kind of notice your threshold. Like, it'll tell you your financial frequency, how much you feel like what your cap is for what you can invest in yourself. But I want you to realize, to Lee's beautiful point here, You are so much bigger than any amount of money. You are worth so much more than any amount of money. And it's just your level of thinking that you are smaller than that and not worth that amount that's holding you back. So what would it look like for you to feel and affirm for yourself that you are worth investing in at that next level, right? Because it's like whatever you're willing to invest in yourself, that's how much you're kind of saying I'm quote unquote worth. But there's no amount of money that could ever equal your worth. You're bigger than all of it. So it's just a helpful positioning. Jan, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. So that's the first piece. The second piece that I would say with decision is to really learn to lean into your intuition. You got to learn to lean into your intuition. And I've had a lot of clients ask this, and this is just stuff I've learned from amazing mentors. Is like, how do you know if it's intuition or if it's fear? Like, how do I know? And the way you know is intuition gets there first. Intuition will get there first. So when you're faced with that decision and you've got, let's say, two different paths you could go down, whatever your first instinct is, that's typically going to be the right thing for you. Now, here's the thing. It's not often the quote unquote logical approach. It's not often the quote unquote safe approach. So what'll happen is your intuition will tell you right away what's right for you. And then your brain, your analytical, logical brain will go into the fear state of, well, what if I can't do it? And yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So you have to learn to pay attention to what gets there first for you, because that is your intuition is always guiding you on the right path. And another thing, if you're taking notes to write down, is the brain thinks, but the heart knows. Your brain thinks, but your heart knows, because your brain is designed, your brain is super logical, super analytical, but it's pretty much your brain is just a record of the past. So it's a memory, it's going to filter everything through past experiences, past conditioning, past belief systems, whatever. Your heart, though, it knows. It knows, and it will always guide you in favor of your next level and your next step. So whatever, because you actually have neurons in your heart, right? So your heart will give you that true next step for you. Nancy's saying, trust your gut. Exactly. So you have to learn to get out of this so much. And that's part of why I love meditation. I love like just methodologies to quiet the brain, because the monkey brain, the analytical brain, that's your ego is working overtime there just to try to keep you what it thinks is safe, which is where you currently are. Which, if you look at where you currently are, many times we are living our worst case scenario and we don't even realize it. Ksenia is saying, how do you help clients say yes to the intuition versus being swept by the mind spheres and reasoning? Ksenia, that's a great question. I mean, I think, so it kind of depends on the context in which you're working with a client. So if it's a one-on-one discovery call with a client, that really gets into some of like the objection handling, right? And I think I would just, when I'm working with clients, it's helping them make decisions in favor of their highest good and in favor of their next level. And so let's say that an objection is money, right? Which is oftentimes what it is. I would probably look with that client. Well, look, let's make sure this is a must for you first. If money was not a factor, what would you do? And help them anchor into why it's a must for them. And if it's not a must for them, then they're not a good fit as a client. So you don't want people who are wishy-washy. You want people who really want to work with you. But if it's a must, then your only job is to help them sort through the how, which could be, all right, so let's talk through, where are the resources going to come from this? What do we need to do to help make this happen? Or if it's a time or whatever it is, then that's part of your job as a professional. Just like if you were going to the doctor and they needed to do an examination of you and like check everything out, that's part of your job as a professional, is to help them look at all the options, all the potentials that oftentimes they're just not seeing, because again, their current way of thinking has gotten them that level of results. So that's where, and you can speak to this too, clearly with what you do, because so much of it is based on helping people reconnect with intuition, with their higher self. Thank you for the hearts. You can speak to that. Like, what is your heart telling you? What is your intuition? And it's very much the lean back too of, You're not there to push or force anything on anybody. It's letting them decide for themselves what their highest self is wanting and needing in this moment. And yet then your only job is to help them achieve that. So if it's not a fit to work with you, then that's fine, right? We don't need to push or force anything. But if it's just a fear thing, then that means they got into their analytical monkey brain, which is what happens. And we kind of guide them through that. So I hope that helps. Sherry's saying so true. Gail, good morning. Howard, good morning. Oh, hello. I love having you here joining these live. This is wonderful. So that's something to remember, right? Is your intuition will get there first. So you got to learn to make decisions in your own life based on intuition if you want your clients to do the same, because then you can speak to it too from that more powerful place, not just of do what I say, but not what I do, but no, here's how it actually works, right? It's a very different position of power when we're great at making decisions ourselves, so we can coach other people through the same. And then the third thing that has always helped me is to remember that the decisions that you make that are going to move you forward in life, they're always going to feel uncomfortable. It's never going to feel easy, right? If it felt like what feels easy is what's already getting you your current results. So there's going to be an edge, and sometimes there's a big edge. But this is where we have to learn to trust our intuition, because it's always guiding you in the right direction and in the right path. And so sometimes, thank you so much for the heart. Sometimes there's a fear of what if I do it and it doesn't work out, right? Does anyone grapple with that? Like there's this thing I want to do. Maybe it's an investment you want to make. Maybe it's a move you want to make in your life. Maybe it's starting a business, leaving a relationship, whatever. I don't care. And it feels scary, right? Because it's the unknown. It's the unknown. And we've been talking a lot this week, the quote from, am I still forgetting the attribution? Someone remind me the attribution of this. The cave you, I just had it. Joseph Campbell. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And so the way that I explain it to my clients, the way I've come to think of it is when you take that step forward and you're trusting your gut, to Nancy's point, and you're taking action that to your best guess is what the person who has what you want would be doing. It's kind of like you're walking down a dark hallway. Thank you for the hearts. It's kind of like you're walking down a dark hallway and there's a door at the end of the hallway that is where you think you're going. Now that hallway is dark and maybe it's cold and maybe there's spooky sounds in it. I don't know, right? But it's a scary feeling hallway. But at the end, you're like, oh my gosh, I think that's where it is. And you know what? This place I've been standing here at the beginning of this hallway for way too long is finally feeling too small for me. It's finally feeling so uncomfortable that I know I need to take a step forward. And so you take a step and it feels scary, but you take a step and you realize you don't die, but you're a little more in the dark now. And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I see it a little clearer now, but I'm still not there yet. And then you take another step. And then you take another step and you're like, oh, I'm still breathing. Okay. I'm still okay. It still feels scary. I'm more in the unknown. Where I was is farther behind me now. But I feel like I'm getting closer. Still not there yet, but I'm getting closer. And as you continue taking those steps, you notice that on your left, there's a door that's a little bit farther. It was farther down the hallway, but you can see it now. And in fact, you're right next to it and it's open. And everything you've ever wanted is in that door. There's a party going on. People are cheering your name. There's clients. There's stacks of money in there. There's health. There's love. There's everything you ever wanted in that door. And you're right there. And all you have to do now is walk through it. But there is no way you could have known that was there if you had not taken those scary first steps down that hallway. And that's always how it works. That's always how it works. When you take that step, when you trust your intuition, when you make that decision in Latin is decidere, which means decision is based on the Latin decidere, which means to literally cut, to burn. Think about burning the ships. When you make that decision, when you cut off all other options and you take forward action, something better must come. Something better must come to you. It will, it must. It may be that that door at the end is exactly where you go. And you're like, ah, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Beautiful. Or it may be that there's a far better door for you right there on your left, but you just would have never known if you hadn't taken that step and that action. So you can trust yourself. You can trust your intuition. You can trust your heart, but you must make a decision, because there's nothing glorious about staying in mediocrity. There is nothing that is totally unlike you and who you really are. Your true self, your highest self, your real, like your true nature is so much bigger than you could ever imagine. He or she has so much more money, so many more clients, so many opportunities, like is living the most incredible life you could ever imagine. And all you have to do is decide. All you have to do is decide that you are willing to step out and do what it takes. And that involves getting way out of your comfort zone, usually, and doing things that are uncomfortable, but doing things that that version of you would do. And then it happens for you. It's that or something better. It must. So Howard, I'm glad this is speaking to you. Charlie, oh my gosh, good morning, Charlie. I'm so glad you're here. So just remember, growth, everything you desire is at the edge of your existing comfort zone. That's where it lives. And you must learn to step out in faith, because again, where you are right now, many times you're living your worst case scenario and you don't even acknowledge it. Whether it's living with stress, fear, anxiety, lack, not enough, you're already in it. Okay, so it can only get better from here, from learning to step out and take that leap in favor of your highest good. Kalua, oh, I'm so glad this is speaking to you. This is something we all need, right? I need it, you need it, we all need it. I'm so glad this is speaking to you. That's beautiful. That's it, my friends. That's what I got for you today. I know many of you are registered for this afternoon's workshop, which is going to be phenomenal. And if you're not, we've got, I think, just a couple spots left. So you can send me a DM. It's for women who want to just like crush the second half of this year and make really powerful, amazing decisions for themselves. So you can send me a DM. We'll tell you how to get in. And for those of you who are already registered, I can't wait to spend more time with you this afternoon. Wendy, love this reminder. As you pointed out yesterday, is my 7-year-old leading me or my entrepreneur? Yes, exactly. And when we feel scared, when we feel like we want to stay where we are, that's inner child, right? Like that's your inner 7-year-old who's like, not worthy, not enough, that's scary. I don't know. And so you do not want a 7-year-old running your business or your sales, with all due respect. Okay. So I've got to do the healing work. We got to do the healing so they feel safe, so you can go out and do your most amazing work in this world. So, all right, my friends, we are, tomorrow we are talking, I think we're covering a universal law. I don't remember what it is, but it's going to be great. I can't wait to spend time with you. So join again tomorrow, where I love spending this time with each of you in the mornings. It's just my favorite. So massive gratitude to each of you. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Go make a decision now. Whatever the decision is, make a decision now in favor of your highest good, and watch how things start to unfold for you in beautiful, miraculous, powerful, powerful ways. All right. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye for now.